Hello, and welcome to the Photoshop Basic Skills series. I'm Darryl Preeb, and today's tip will be on resizing photographs for email or for display on websites. One of the great features of today's digital cameras is that they produce pictures that are of high resolution. 10 megapixel cameras now are becoming more common and more affordable. And while these pictures are producing wonderful prints, and even poster-size prints, they do make it more difficult to email the pictures or place them on websites because their file sizes are so very large. So here are the three things you need to do in Photoshop to get the maximum reduction in file size while maintaining a good picture quality. It is always a balance or a trade-off to reduce the file size but not do it so much that you lose picture quality. So the first thing we do, oh by the way, this picture here is of a church in Assisi, Italy. And this church was at the very top of one of the hills in Assisi. There are many churches in Assisi. This particular church was having a lot of underground excavation done for the catacombs down there. It was a very beautiful and eerie place. And we're going to be able to email or place this picture on a website by first going to image and then going to image size. Now there's three things you need to do in Photoshop to get the maximum reduction in file size. And the first is to change your resolution right here. And if we set this at 72, it's a pretty low resolution. And when we do that, our pixel size of our picture and pixel dimensions also has reduced. If I hold the Alt key down or Option on a Mac and click here, Reset, our original picture was 4,000 pixels wide at 200 pixels an inch. And when we go down to 72, that brings our pixel size already down to 1440 in width. So the first step, reduce the resolution. Why 72? Most computer monitors traditionally have had a resolution of around 72 pixels an inch. Newer monitors may be higher, but the most common size is 72 pixels an inch. Now we're going to change the width of our photograph, which is currently measured in pixels. So our resolution is 72. We will set our width here at 600 pixels, and because we have constrained proportions checked, that's very important, the height also changes with the width. So right now we have a picture that's about 600 pixels wide, 72 pixels an inch, and if we look at the inches measurement, it's about an 8 by 5, which will fit just fine on a monitor. Now if we're going to make a very small picture for the web, we might be going down to something as small as 50 pixels here, which would create a picture that's about a ½ inch big. So right now 600 would be fine for emailing. Okay, so we click OK, and our picture will shrink right down to those sizes. And to make it look a little larger on our screen monitor, you can hold down the Control key and press plus, or you can hold down the Alt Option key and scroll in like so. Now the picture looks pretty much the same, although it is a much smaller file size now. Right now we're down to 701K, which if we look at our open picture, it was 29 megabytes. Much larger than our picture now at 701K. The next step and the third step to reduce the picture is to save it for the web. So we go to the File menu, we go down to Save for Web, and this is going to let us compress our picture. And right now we have 4 up. We can click 2 up and we'll see just 2 pictures here. Okay, so I've clicked up here on 4 up and I've gone back to 4 pictures, and we can see our original here at 400K. And I'm going to look at this, it's called a rose symbol, very common on the churches in Europe. And we're going to look there for our JPEG artifacts. Now what are JPEG artifacts? Basically they're blurs or distortions or ripply lines in the picture due to the compression, overly compressing the picture. So if we look at our 700K picture and we look around the rows, and this is multiplied 200%, you can see, we don't see too much distortion. And if we look at this JPEG here, 34K, it's very small, we start to see, I don't know if it'll show up on your monitor when this video is compressed, but you can take my word for it. In here there are more wiggly, scrolly lines, which are the JPEG compression artifacts. And if we look down here at 17K, you can see even more of them. So what we want to do is eliminate those as much as we can. Our 34K picture is really way too small anyway. And so we're going to move to where you can see all that I'm doing over here on the right now. We're going to go to JPEG large or high, and our picture is now 68K, and there are fewer artifacts, but it's still not good enough. So I'm going to go with my quality slider here, click on it and drag it up until my picture hits around 100K in size. There's 98, there's 108, 101. Just 100K is a nice size photograph to email. Usually it doesn't give us too many compression artifacts. So if you look here, the amount of compression artifacts has reduced greatly compared to our original picture, and yet it's 1/7 the size, 700K down to 100K. So we're going to click Save. We're pleased with that amount of compression. Very important when you save that you give it a different name. Do not overwrite your original picture, and we'll simply add the word web in here, W-E-B. All right, so that we know that this particular Assisi Church picture has been compressed and reduced in size to email or save on the web. All right, now that pretty much concludes what we wanted to do today. If you look at our picture when it was opened, you can only see a very small portion of it right there. And you've probably received an email in the past with somebody who sends you a picture that's not compressed, and you can see it's huge on your screen. But now we have reduced it in size, in resolution, and compressed it for the web.